Here's another podcast from the Pod Bros Network.
This could possibly be our shortest episode ever, and I don't say that to be hyperbolic.
It's not a bragging right.
Yeah, it's one of those that we're like, hey, this is a really good idea, and that idea came from Twitter, which we've already spoke about, but it was let me try to find it on Twitter. Let's get that. Ooh, someone put JCVD. Happy Saturday right there. That was 1 day ago. Look at that guy.
Ooh, damn.
He just
still knocking it out.
I know, dude. I wish I looked that good. Okay, let's see here. I'm on our Twitter page at Dammecast, DAMMECAST. Follow us there.
Or else
we will do the splits and hit you in the nuts. I do have to say, shout outs to That's Delightful, because they've been really good at talking about some of the other shows on the network, and I listen to them. I do have to warn people that listen. They are a political podcast, and they lean to the left. So if you don't like that, don't listen. But,
or if you want to get angry and engage them on Twitter.
But I do have to say, so before I get to what started this episode, so That Delightful mentioned us on their podcast, one of their episodes. It was, I think, episode 64 or show 64, because Ian doesn't like the word episode because it makes it sound like it's an ongoing series, season with seasons and whatnot, and it's a podcast.
All right.
Yeah, right. So listen to Ian talk.
Your prerogative.
I would say, Ian, let us know why on the Van Dammecast, but I know you're not listening. So, but anyway, thank you so much. At Delightfulcast, looking for a show with meaningful conversation about immigrants keep families together and Facebook rights, and still manages to slip in a nod to Dammecast? Check out episode 64 of Delightfulcast. In which I replied, that was probably the best segue that I've ever heard, because it was a hilarious segue how he mentioned us, and his co-hosts on there, Michelle and Kelly, were just kind of like, what? And we got that from him. So I said, that was probably the best segue we've ever heard. And then I went on to say, Van Damme splits are a lot like American politics. We have the left and the right legs, but we need to remember that we look at the whole split so that we can work together to nut punch these policies. In which he was like, I wish I would have thought of that when I was. So yeah, thank you to Delightful Cast. That's delightfulpodrose.com.
That's a really good metaphor.
Thank you.
And the splits only split further, but it makes it sound like it's a good thing because it's Van Damme doing the splits.
Okay, and here we go. Let's see. Oh, no. No.
Do we get another cease and desist?
Not this time. I tweeted a lot that I didn't expect.
You were drunk on Twitter again, weren't you?
Yeah, that's how it always goes. Okay, maybe I can't find it.
I trusted you.
I did too. See, that's your first mistake. All right, well.
Episode's canceled.
We're done. I can't
Show's
find
canceled.
It's done. I'm sorry. So we got the idea from an 80s Toys Twitter, which I am really sorry. Now I can't remember your tweet, and I looked through it, and I don't even know if you're on Twitter anymore. Because
maybe they got a cease and desist.
Maybe. I don't know.
Was it from us?
Yes, it was. It was like, don't you do that. Which they suggested that we do Van Damme toys. And I was like,
that is cool.
I was like, that's a really good idea. So I did my digging into the internet, and I was like, oh, that was a really good idea. Too bad the results weren't as good. Because to be completely honest with you, there are hardly any Van Damme toys.
That's so weird because I never really thought about it, but yeah, I never had any Jean-Claude Van Damme action figures unless you count the Guile Street Fighter G.I. Joe one.
I was just going to say, that's basically the only line. And
that's, it doesn't really, it's not sculpted after JCVD.
No,
it just looks like Guile.
It's a terrible sculpt. It doesn't even look like Guile, actually. There's the ones that look like Guile, and then there's actually ones I had no clue about as a kid. But I found these on figurerealm.com. There's 9 figures Colonel Guile in 12-inch form that looks like it. It's supposed to look like Van Damme.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like movie Guile. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
All these look like movie Guile. So it was just kind of like same Van Damme haircut, but does not look like Van Damme.
I wonder if they were previously.
Oh, they were probably other molds.
Yeah.
Probably other molds. We had Colonel Guile in 12-inch form. Hella Fighter with Colonel Guile. Navy SEAL Guile. Colonel Guile and Bison 2-pack.
That's the one I had.
Was it?
Yep.
Oh, sweet. Arctic Assault Guile. Night Fighter Guile.
That's
Rock Trooper Guile.
Night Fighter's an inappropriate term. It's problematic. No wonder he stopped getting action figures.
Yep. Paratrooper Guile and Sonic Boom Guile.
Did his arms like move into a sonic boom? I'm
assuming. There was one of them that, like, if you recall, when G.I. Joe would make some of the female figures, instead of having the V torso, like the V legs, they made it kind of U-shaped, where the legs only went front and back. They didn't move side to side, which made no sense, because if it's Van Damme, you want him to do the splits just very carefully, because these are G.I. Joes we're talking about.
Yeah, it's connected with a rubber band.
Yeah, the band could snap. So he would only do a front split. So one of them was made like that. The rest of them were kind of made like regular G.I. Joes. I always thought that was kind of weird.
That is like, bizarre.
Why would you do it that way? So yeah, in regards to all that, like that's all we got for Van Damme besides a knockoff. There was a knockoff. I went on eBay looking for Van Damme toys recently. I'll tell you my stories here. I went on eBay to look at Van Damme toys. There's a knockoff from Mexico. It does not look like anything like him. But the back card has Bloodsport on it, and it has like that Van Damme kind of animated looking Van Damme, airbrushed Van Damme on it. And the toy just looks like a terrible, cheap, Mexican
dollar store,
knockoff.
Yeah.
Dollar, yep. And the guy wanted like $30 for it. I was like, no.
How many did you buy?
12. So expect a Christmas gift. So then, and I remember this when this happened. There was a release later on. I want to say, I don't remember the date, but it was probably early 2010s. Might have been 2011 or so. Interbay said that they were releasing a Van Damme action figure. And Interbay, like, this was before I really even knew who, like, Hot Toys and all those were. They released this action figure of Van Damme, and it looked like Van Damme. I mean, the face sculpt and everything looked absolutely crazy. At that time, it was going for $205.
That's some Hot Toy prices there.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost.
I was just like...
Some NECA prices there.
Yeah, I was going to say, kind of NECA-like, right? I was, at the time, I was like, oh, that's too steep for a toy for me, even. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's rough.
And I went on eBay recently. They had them for $350. The lowest one I saw was for $120 on another site, but it was sold out.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, man. So then, here's my own personal story. So then, I found one on Goodwill, shopgoodwill.com.
Really?
Someone had one at Goodwill. So, at first, when I looked, and if you guys don't know, this is kind of like how eBay still is, but used to be more so. It's auction-based. So when I went on, the figure was at about like $30, and I went, oh, hell yeah. His sunglasses were broken. That was the only thing broken on him, supposedly. So I thought, what better way to like make the studio even better than by bringing in this Van Damme toy that I've always wanted? So I put my bid in immediately. It was like, oh, okay. I kind of thought, we all know how this goes. You put in a bid now. You got to wait till like the last minute really to start, when the bidding war really starts.
Let that hot click and go.
So I put in the bid and immediately told me I was outbid. And I was like, what? And it jumped up to like $40. And I was like, all right. I go, all right, I'll put it at 42. This is what I didn't understand. Immediately when I put it at 42, I should be the highest bidder now because it's going to go up to the price. But it was like, you've been outbid. I was like, oh, okay, so someone still outbid me. So someone must have put their highest price like at 50 or whatnot.
Okay.
So I waited on it, and then it got down to last minute, and I was going to go, okay, let's go old school here and be like the rest of these guys and start bidding at the last minute. It was like me and 3 other dudes, or 4, And I say dudes as gender neutral because I don't know.
I was one of those people.
You were like, this will be great for the studio. We were fighting back and forth with each other without knowing. Well, I wanted to surprise you for this episode because I thought, okay, but then I started asking myself, how much am I willing to spend on this action figure? I'm not willing to spend a ludicrous amount on an action figure just kind of for shits and giggles. And, even though I do truly want it, I was like, if it gets up to the prices where I can just buy it on eBay, I'll buy a complete one on eBay.
Yeah.
So it reached, I think it got up to like $120 itself. So like at the time I just watched it, I was like, you know what? I said, what's my cutoff? I go, okay. My cutoff was about $80.
Yeah, that's exactly where I would put it.
I was like, I'm not going to go any further than 80. And
that's a lot of
beer money. It's a lot
money.
of money. Yeah, man. It's a lot of money. It's like, okay, I could buy a handful of great Nintendo Switch games online, all those.
You could get that new 2DS bundle with new Super Mario Brothers 2 that they just...
Oh, nice.
I think I might be getting that.
Sweet.
Don't they have the Virtual Console for the 2DS?
I don't know.
I think they do. I know they don't for the Switch.
So I was like, okay, $80. I could actually go on Amazon.com using the Pod Bros link and spend a bunch of money on Amazon.
Won't cost you an extra dime.
It doesn't cost me extra, exactly. And I had that Prime shipping, so I know I'm going to get that flat fee at $80, except if it's Michigan, then I get the tax.
Yep.
But yeah, I stopped there, and then it went up, and I continued going in price. And I was like, that's not worth it for, this figure, basically, that's not complete. So that's my personal story. So I am really sorry I cannot bring in studio a sweet, realistic-looking Van Damme. There's some head sculpts on eBay for a lot cheaper, and then I could easily get one of those bodies and put his head on it. But we'll see if I really want to do that.
As long as they can do the splits.
So basically, after that, there's this Soldier of Fortune 3 Van Damme figure. He looks pretty sweet, but I don't understand it whatsoever.
Soldier of Fortune 3?
Yeah, and it's a Van Damme figure for $140. It's basically the same sculpt. It's the same thing,
like
except
Soldier
a different
of
outfit.
Fortune like the action figure series or something? Is it like a bunch of different...
I have no clue. I have no clue. The other one that I saw, and I don't know if this was custom or if it was its own thing, was some Universal Soldiers as Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren, and I was like, those are pretty badass.
That'd be the best thing to make a action figure series.
Seriously, man. But I did not see those for sale anywhere. I only saw those like on Pinterest, so I didn't know if someone customized them or what.
Probably.
But they looked fucking sweet. The closest thing I saw was stands for the Universal Soldier forum on eBay, so I don't know. I have no clue, but anyway, that's it though. That's all the Van Damme toys there are. There's no other Van Damme toys. Really surprised.
That is
kind of surprising that it wasn't like, even Japan had, something random and weird without licensing him.
Yeah.
Because they do that a lot with some of the wrestlers.
Copyright law is a little different over there.
Yeah, right. So, yeah,
a little non-existent over there.
That was it, though. That's it. That's all, and it's really sad. It's really sad. This
what
episode
a missed opportunity.
It is. It is a missed opportunity. Missed opportunity for him as well.
Yeah.
Where he could easily license his likeness to a lot of stuff, and he doesn't, and kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, that's weird that he wouldn't.
So yeah, there's money to be made, and. I guess he's fine with it. Maybe he's already made his fortune. He's okay. He doesn't need to keep, branding and licensing, but,
I mean, he's doing chip commercials, though, so you would think
he's
exactly. Not above making a buck.
I know, right? Yeah.
They are great chip commercials, though.
They are. It makes me want chips now.
Who knows? I wonder if there's some mysterious reason behind it.
Yeah, maybe one day if we get him on the show... and not ask him the same questions that he's always asked for 25 years.
Hey, can you still do the splits?
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember Time Cop?
that was really cool. Just our Chris Farley impressions.
Oh, stupid!
We did it again. No. So yeah. All right, that wraps it up. That's our toy episode. I wish there was a little bit more to it than that.
If you could pick a Jean-Claude Van Damme action figure from any movie, what would you pick?
That's a good question.
Jean-Claude and a different and a co-star.
Oh man. All right, I can't I would definitely say Universal Soldier, but I don't want to. That's a cheap way out. So I won't do that. Oh, that's really tough because, like, and I don't want to point the obvious for myself because, like, that's not fun. Okay, yeah, Bloodsport, because we get a 2-pack with him and Ray Jackson.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
We get him versus Chun-Li.
Yes.
It'd be fucking sweet. Hot Toys, NECA, you guys hearing this? Please. Seriously. Or what's the Action 7 or whatever, the guys who do the remakes of all the plastic little 3.75-inch figures. Oh, that'd be fucking sweet because they made really cool too. They made the little Big Trouble in Little China ones.
Yes.
Oh, those are sweet, dude. So anyway, yeah. Okay, so let's not do that because I feel that that's the cheap way. That's the easy way out. Oh man, God, I would love if Hot Toys or something or those made a hard target Van Damme.
Yes, that'd be glorious.
I think I might splurge on the money just because of that mullet. Could you imagine that sculpted mullet? Like, because they do the real hair and whatnot.
Yeah.
So like that would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing if they had a hard target Van Damme.
That would be superb.
So yeah, maybe I'd go with that one. What about you?
I'd have to go with Cyborg,
Fender
and
dude.
Gibson.
Dude, dude, that would be sweet, and especially like the accessories of when Van Damme sees her like doing the cyborg bit.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if they made the cyborg toy out of that? That'd be like almost kind of Ghostbusters, the cartoon-esque, like lift up or push down this lever on her back and her head comes out. Wow, cyborg.
I would love that to death.
Oh, dude, that. We are giving you free money.
Yes, we're just shooting out amazing ideas left and right.
Amazing ideas. You don't even have to put it like into Hot Toys. We can easily make these figures.
You could have that well with a barbed wire rope torture place.
Oh God. Oh, that I'm waiting for someone to Photoshop that now. Like this is smart. It's like,
hell yeah,
Kenner Cyborg set. Yes.
Elaborate well torture setup.
So that wraps it up.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that was a good question, Ethan. Thank you for thinking
you're
that
welcome.
off the fly. Okay, guys, thank you so much. You know our usual stuff. I won't bog you down, especially for a short episode. I am John.
And I am Jeff.
You have been listening to another episode of the Jean Pod Van Damme Cast. Now, please excuse us as we make bids on these Van Damme toys.